Hi, Shannon here with Shannon Sizzlen Stampers, and I am bringing to you another really fun, heartfelt, love, sweet, candy-filled project for one of my local community classes. And so let's get started with what you're going to find in your kit. You're going to have 3 packages of little candies. I'm going to set those off for now. You're going to have a piece of ruffled red ribbon. I'm going to be using a piece of red linen ribbon for my demo because this is the last bit of this wonderfully, I just love the ruffle effect of that ribbon for you guys. So you have a piece of that. You're going to have a basic white note card and envelope. You're going to have a little strip with 3 of these little pearl gems. So when you're getting in your kit, don't lose those. They're tiny. You're going to have 2 strips of white, basic white paper that look like this. And they are one is slightly longer than the other. Okay. You have a rectangle of this fun, filled with candies, Valentine candies and heart paper. And the back has kind of this soft pink marble paper. So you've got that. You're going to have a small white square, a red smooth heart punch, another smooth heart punch that is that same candy paper, and you're going to have 2 white scallop heart punches. So that is what's going to come in your kit. Now, I'm going to kind of bonus up those of you that attend the class in February. You'll get a little bit more bonus project. Since we were not doing this class in person at the last minute, well, not the last minute, but with COVID protocol happening, I had to remove one project. It just wasn't going to be workable. So I'll make up for that in the next month. All right, so we're going to begin, and the first thing I want to begin with is the card. So for the card, you're going to use the card and envelope, this rectangle, and the red heart. Now, today I am using a couple of stamps from this Happy and Heartfelt stamp set. So if you don't own a sentiment stamp and you'd like to have one, this is a great one to have. It has I love the font. It's a favorite, but it has some really fun modern words like hello baby, heck yeah. And then it has traditional ones, but I love this like happy mom day with the heart as the O, happy dad day. So those things are coming right on up as well. So this is a great year-round, all occasion sentiment set to add to your collection. And you can always find me on Facebook. Just search Sizzlen with an E, Sizzlen, Stamper Shannon Miller. You can find me on my Facebook group, which is Sizzlen, again with the E, Stampers, and it has the public in parentheses. So make sure you choose that public one. Or you can email me at smiller@sizzlen, Sizzlen, stamper.com. Now, we're going to be, for my things today, I am just doing a tiny bit of stamping, and I'm going to use Gorgeous Grape ink because it matches back so perfectly, and it's a nice complement to the real red there. So you're going to see me use that. Don't worry if you do not have any stamps. Neither of these projects require stamps. And the other project I had required a lot of stamping, so that's why I'm not doing that one. You'll notice that tonight's video, you're only seeing me hands on it. So I'm still recuperating from my own case of COVID. So I appreciate your patience and sticking with me, guys. So for this card, we're going to start with the card, and you're just going, let me grab my glue. You're just going to have your note card, and we're going to put this piece of paper, and you guys get creative. I'm going to do mine up like this, but if you want to cut it and do it differently, you can do it side to side like that. I'm going to run mine up and down like a rectangle, and I'm just going to glue that on with my liquid glue, my white liquid glue. And I'm going to set that not perfectly centered. I'm doing mine a little closer to the fold edge and it's slightly lower to the ground. Then I'm going to take my dimensionals. If you guys don't know dimensionals, it's another thing. When you participate in my classes, it's one thing that I totally love people to have because I use them a lot. They give a lot of dimension and depth to your card, and they're very inexpensive. You can even be thrifty with them and cut them in half if you want. I've put on this Yay for Love, and we're going to stamp that in this lower corner in our gorgeous grape, and it will fit right there. If you do not have a stamp, again, don't worry about it. This card is designed to where you can leave it completely blank. And I've put those dimensionals on the back of my red heart. I'm going to peel the backing off. We're just going to add that right up there, however you think you want it. Maybe you want it kind of angled. Maybe you want it centered on where you don't have a lot of candy. I like mine to come kind of off like this. And then you're going to see me use, let me get my pick tool out here. And I'm going to put one. For now, I'm only going to put one. I gave you 3. You'll have to depend on how you want to use these, if you want them on your box or not. All right. You may not. And I'm going to show you ribbon on the box, but you might choose to have your ribbon on your card. So again, be creative. That's how fast and simple that card comes together. And it's super sweet. Just looks full of yummy fun for Valentine's Day, or any time of the year, really, that you want to say, I care about you to someone. Now, this next project is going to take the bulk of our time. To start, we are going to glue on the patterned heart as an overlay to one of the scallop parts. It doesn't matter which one. You're just going to glue it on there. And if you want the other side, if you want to use a different pattern instead of the candies, you can, by all means. Okay. And this is where your red ribbon comes in. This is where I designed the red ribbon to come in and just be put into a knot like so. I like to, a lot of times, pull mine upwards like that, so they kind of get that rabbit ear-esque look, and then trim it down. If it needs trimming, just trim that down. And then I'm going to use a glue dot. Again, you can use whatever adhesive you have on hand. White glue will work again. I like to use glue dots, another fabulous adhesive that is easy to use and inexpensive, and you get a jillion of them for your price that you pay. All right. And then this is where you may want to use your little dots and add a little dot on there, or you may, like for me, I'm going to come back in and I'm going to use all my little dots on my card now. Now that I kind of see where I'm going with this, I want to put one up there at the top, and I want to put my last one somewhere maybe right along here at the bottom on my designer paper. So I've kind of keep that 3 triangle fill going. I always try to teach odd numbers, and think about triangles or 3s because that's how your eye likes to follow things, and that is aesthetically pleasing to our eye. All right, now the next thing that we're going to put on there is, oops, where did my little stamp go? One moment. My stamp has probably gotten stuck. There it is. Yep, it was stuck on my box. So we're going to stamp one little thing on that little square. And again, you don't even have to add this square if you don't want. You can, if you have a stamp that will fit in it, you can use it. If you don't, it's not required or necessary. But I'm going to stamp this I Have You. Every time I think of that, it reminds me, I'm going to date myself, but it totally reminds me of that Sonny and Cher song, I've Got You, Babe. Righty. So we've used that with our gorgeous grape ink. And that gets glued right on. And you may want to do this before you put on your bow. So I can just pick that up and remove it if I need to. And you may not want to do that on there at all. You might want to offset it. I think I'm going to let mine be offset. However you want, you could center it. It is sized to center into the heart if you want it that way. But for now, I'm going to leave mine like that. So that's for the top of this heart-shaped treat box that we're going to make. And this is what is going to take the bulk of your time in this class to make. So I know it's few materials, but it is something, fewer materials than normal, but it is something that will take a little bit of lengthy time. I have my scoring tool out, and that's what you're going to see me use. Now, if you do not have a scoring tool, I've shown this before on many things. I have people who score all the time without a scoring tool. Let me show you a couple of items options that you could use. A ruler with a bone folder, a ruler with a butter knife, a ruler with a pair of scissors, a ruler with like the butt edge of a pen down here. I personally find the bone folder, and if you don't have a bone folder in your paper crafting tricks, then the back of the scissors is what my preference is, a ruler in the back of the scissors. You're going to see me use the scoring tool. Now, here is very important. These pieces of paper are only a 1/4 inch difference in length, and they're the same width. And you are probably going to want to have your tutorial instructions out near you or printed off, or at least have them nearby for referencing. I will try to say the measurements and the scoring lines a couple of times, and I'll try to go slowly. So the box bottom is made out of the short one, the one that is 1 1/4 by 5 3/4 in length. And this is our box lid that is 1 1/4 by 6 inches of length. So let's start with the box bottom. All right. So this is our one that's 5/4. You're going to put it long like this. All right. For our first scoring, we're going to score it 1 1/2. And on the scoring tool, this is just a tool. If you like to do box building or cutting and making your own card bases and scoring down the halfway mark, this is a tool that is worth its money. So we've scored at 1 1/2. We're going to score at 2 1/4. Make sure you can see me. Let me move my scoring tool a little bit better. 2 3/4, 3 1/4, 4 inches, and 5 1/2. Okay, so we've scored it at 1 1/2, 2 1/4, 2 3/4, 3 1/4, 4 and 5 1/2. Then we're going to flip it, and we're going to take it on the short side, and we're going to score all the way down at 1 inch and set that aside. Now we're going to do our lid that goes to 6 inches. So for the lid, we're going to start at 1 1/2. We're going to do 2 3/8. So 2, 1, 2, 3, 8s. 2 7/8, 4, 5, 6, 7. That's why I 3 3/8, 2, 3, 4 1/4, and 5 3/4. And then again, you turn on the short side and you score all the way down at 1 inch. All right. So you've got that scoring done. I set my scoring tool aside, and I'm going to use a pen to show you this next section, how you want to notch your papers. So I want you to turn them to where this is the long and this has that skinny narrow piece on it. And you're going to end up, well, let's do it this way actually. Why? Huh. Okay. I'm going to turn mine over so that they're like this. Okay. So turn them to where you have the skinny side on the left and the skinny side on the bottom. And then you're going to end up cutting this out and add a notch. Okay, so all of this will go away. And then you're going to come in and you're going to notch on all of these little tiny score lines. So everywhere there's a score line in there, and then down here at the very end, you're going to notch and cut that out. Doesn't have to be perfect. That's why I'm drawing it out for you. Notch, and this goes all the way out at this tab, and notch across. Notch, 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 and a notch. The notching just allows you to create an easier tab fold when you are making the box. And then we're going to cut those out. So you see, we're just going to go down, and you can follow that score line, but you're still going to need to come back in and notch that. But they're not necessarily going to line up. Notch, notch, and that triangle will pop out. Notch, notch. Again, don't worry if these notches don't look perfect. They do not need to be a perfect triangle, nor do the flaps that you leave behind need to be any perfect width. You just don't want to cut through the score line. Do not cut past that score line. So you're just notching all of your boxes. And let's hope I have success when I go to actually make this time, because sometimes my brain and box building are not conducive for me. It's not, some people just have a knack for that. For me, it is effort, but I love this project. My friend, I saw her make it, and she shared the instructions, and I thought it would be wonderful for this group. And I had thought it would be great because we'd be doing it all in person, so it would be easy to have hands-on, but I didn't want you to miss out to learn how to make, because this box is this box is going to end up being heart-shaped. That's what's so spectacular about it. All right, so now I want you to go in and fold all those scoring lines. All those scoring lines. Fold them back and forth every which way just to get them nice. You want to break down those fibers a little bit so that they will work with you when we go to box build. Okay, so you're going to do that for both pieces. And it at the moment, it's not going to matter, but just kind of keep an eye which is slightly longer than the other, because that's your lid. So like I'm going to lay that one over by this piece that I know is going to be the top of my box. That's going to decorate. That's going to be the decorative part of this box. So you see how I'm folding these tabs both directions because I want them to go along. Okay. Now, we want to fold the strip along the score lines into a heart shape. So what that means is right in here where you have these tabs, those are your hearts. Okay, so do you see how this is looking? Is that making sense? So right now, what you're really doing, the only piece that you're going to adhere is this. Now, my friend did this box and she used the white Tombow glue. I'm going to use some tear tape, but again, you can use whatever you want. For a video, I'm going to use the tear tape because for me, I feel like the Tombow glue will work, but I know you're going to have to hold it. So I want to make this a little, I don't want to have to hold it that long for the video making process. So I'm going to put that tear tape on and pull it off. You can use whatever you want. So that's the biggest thing to know, is that you want to create that heart shape is those two small tabs. And then you come around here and this is where the sides go together. Hopefully you can see that. You want to try to get them as even as possible. And you want all those little tabs. Okay, so how this makes the heart is those pieces go down. Now, here's the next thing. And I'm going to try the white glue Brenda used. But I'm not sure. You may want the tear tape. The thing is, as this comes down, you need to catch a little bit of those corners with the glue, and then you're going to lay your white scallop heart on top of there. So your heart box, the box shape of that doesn't have to be perfect. And then you can turn it over. So see, really, this kind of almost looks more diamondish. Does that make sense? You really just have to get your box bottom on. It's actually pretty easy if you don't complicate it, which is what I tend to do and get in my brain, and then I can't make it work. Now, in essence, we are doing the same thing with the next one. So we're going to come around here. I am going to use the tear tape again. You can use whatever adhesive you have. I'm going to use that tear tape again. We're basically repeating the same process. We want to get those edges aligned really well right there. And then we're going to bring that Tombow glue in again. So see how it wants to, this one's slightly bigger, so it doesn't want to tuck into the neat heart shape as well. So that means I may need to get that folded a little bit more. And then this is where that cute heart that we've already done the decorating, that's where this comes into play. So you're going to start with that bottom and just evenly lay that down on those tabs. Let it have enough time to kind of catch and hold. If it won't go that way, you can always do it like this. So I see that the lid one is slightly a little bit more difficult to even it out with my heart because it is slightly bigger. But just keep maneuvering it, and remember, it doesn't need to be perfect. It just has to fit over the top. Okay. So now you have your cute little candies, and you can just tuck a couple of them in here. You could put whatever candies you want in. I wasn't sure. I knew that I could fold these and manipulate them, and I ordered my candies before I had tested the box out. So I think you can get 2 in there easily. And then that top just carefully aligns right over the top. And I'm going to have to adjust my heart one more time. So this is what I'm saying. The top heart box is a little more finicky than the bottom one. That's how I found it to be. right, and then if you don't want that hanging off, you can get rid of it. You could add your glimmer dots if you want, but there you have your 2 cute projects. Your heart box, that heart-shaped box. Isn't that super cute? And people are going to think you are fancy when you make these, and they're actually very easy. They take minimal supplies. Again, the heart box is, now it is designed to fit perfectly with the Stampin' Up! Double Heart Punch Pack, which is item 151292 if you want that. It is a little pricier, but you do get 2 nice size hearts. So you have the smooth and the scallop, and that's what you use for that box. So it's perfectly designed for that. So check into that if you are interested, but that's the scallop, and the smooth decorates it, and the scallop is your lids, provides your lids for that box. Isn't that super cute? I hope you love that. I'm looking forward to seeing you guys next month in person. Well, it'll be the end of February, actually, in person, and we will do some fun things. And again, all right. Thank you. Bye-bye.